Hi everyone, it's me, FoxGalah, and welcome back to another Speedpaint video. Today you're watching a sped up process of me drawing Dark Magician style Delphox from Pokemon Unite. At the end of the video, you'll see the finished result. Stay around for that. So anyways, what you are seeing right now is me sketching out the wireframe of the artwork. The wireframe is used as a guide for the line art and the colors to make sure that the finished art piece does not look bad at all. That's all I really have to say about the wireframe. So before we move on to the line art, allow me to tell you something. This artwork is actually quite similar to my Delphox in a Witch costume artwork that I drew last year for Halloween of 2023. Since it's going to be very similar, I am going to try and make this artwork look as different as possible from the artwork from last year to make sure that I'm not ripping it off. An example of a difference is seen in the wireframe. She is posed differently. Rather than her having like two hands holding her stick, she only has one hand holding her stick and she's looking down on it. So anyways, now we are on the line art, and all I do here is basically just trace over the wireframe with little to no changes. There are some differences, for example the fur and making the gems look 3D, but the reason why this is not drawn on the wireframe is because I don't need it to make it look good. So, before we move on to the colouring, allow me to tell you something. You may have noticed that I whipped up two images of the best Olympics mascots ever. Well, this is because I was originally going to draw the flame in a new art style to make it look more realistic. I realized that it's a bit too hard to do that, so I just decided to stick with how I usually draw fire. So, now we are on the colouring, and what I do here is use a lasso tool to select specific areas and then use the fill bucket tool to quickly fill them in. The colors here are not just picked randomly as oranges or yellows or purples. I actually go to official images of the Delphox and use the color picker to pick the official colors of her to make the artwork more in line with the source material. Also, I do not use the fill bucket by itself whenever I fill stuff in. It's because, well, some of the pixels are left out and it makes the artwork look unprofessional. So, we are now on to the penultimate segment of the video, the shading. So, the shading is done using airbrushes to make the artwork look more pretty and realistic. Lasso tools are used to assure that none of the shading goes out of the lines. Also, the shading here is tinted with a color to make it look more vivid. And I was originally going to consider a purple tint to the shading, but I decided against it because I realized that the Delphox was holding a red D or orange fire, so it would make sense to make the shading like orange or red. Also, this makes it one of the only times where FoxGalah artwork shading is not tinted the same color as the background, as the background was going to be purple, but I later changed my mind to make it pink to make it different from the Witch Delphox artwork that was drawn last year. So yeah. Okay, so now the background is grey and the Delphox is transparent because I'm going to highlight some areas that are quite hard to see. I know I can still see them, but still, I don't want to make any mistakes when shading this Delphox, even if they're hard to see. So, we are now onto the background, and like I said earlier, this is gonna be pink. I'm also going to add a vortex that is meant to represent dark magic, and here's the finished result. Doesn't she look pretty? So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, but you don't have to if you don't want to. You can also follow me on Twitter to see more art even art that's not like posted on YouTube. So anyways, goodbye.